Aloha! It's Professor Jay, and in this short video I'm going to show you how to find a bill on the legislature's website, whether it be the current session or a past session. First, let's do the current session. When you go to the legislature's website at www.capitol.hawaii.gov, you'll come to this page. There are two ways to find a bill. The first is if you know the bill's number, and the second is if you know some keywords that are in the bill. Let's start with the easier one, if you know the bill's number. The two top boxes in the left-hand column are the keys to finding a bill, and the top one, the one that says Bill Status, is where you plug in the bill number. So I'm going to click here and put in House Bill 2288 and click Go. And I'm right here at the bill's status page. Okay, now let's say you have something a little trickier. You know something about this bill. It's the famous bill that was going to require all ISPs, all internet service providers, to hold on to their customers' records of the websites that they visited for 2 years. So let's try some keywords here. Let's try ISP and 2 years. And I've got nothing, which means when you search for a bill with keyword, you have to be a little bit of a detective. For example, the legislature is kind of formal. Maybe instead of using the phrase ISP, they spelled out Internet Service Provider. And then I click Go. This time I've got some responses, but I have 42 of them, which is way more than I need. When you look at the excerpts of the bill in the middle of the page, you'll see that none of them are actually talking about internet service providers. They're just using one of the three words. For instance, in blue you'll see the word service highlighted a lot, but it isn't necessarily having anything to do with an ISP. Down here you see the word internet highlighted, but again this has to do with internet gaming, nothing to do with an ISP. So what do? Well, the legislature's website search engine is not the same as the Google search engine that many of us might be familiar with. In a Google search, to be very simple, if you put words together, Google assumes that they're related and will look for clusters of them. The legislature's website won't do that. So what does the legislature's website do? Well, they have small search examples at the bottom. You have to use old-fashioned connectors, either the word "and" if you want to have a document where phishing and license appear in the same document, or if either one will do. For instance, you might search for attorney or lawyer because you know one of the terms will be used but not which one. Or you can use a quoted term, such as the quote phishing license close quote, which looks for the exact phrase. So let's go back and try quote internet service provider close quote, and now click Go. See, this is much better. Now we have only 13 examples to look at. And each of these uses the full phrase internet service provider. So let's try to add another phrase to that. Let's try internet service provider, and it needs to keep records. So let's put and records and see if that helps our search. Now we're getting 8 results, which is even better. At this point, with 8 results, you might just want to stop and look at each of the bills. We know we're looking for a House bill, so let's scroll down to look at the House bills. And there are only 3 of them. This one talks about retaining consumer records. This one talks about keystroke logging. And this one talks about keystroke logging as well. So let's try House Bill 2288. And you'll see, yes, this is the record-keeping bill. I wanted to walk you through that keyword search because so many times you don't have the exact bill number and you're going to have to be kind of creative in your word choices to keep looking for the keywords. Now let's take a minute to see how you would search for archived bills, for bills from past sessions. Why might you want to do this? Well, let's say your client is interested in a bill that was introduced in the last session but didn't make it through the legislature. It would be helpful if you could take a look at the testimony that was provided in that earlier bill to see which organizations and individuals are likely to support the bill or oppose the bill. But if we want to take a look at the past sessions, we have to click on the Archives link first, which is all the way on the right-hand column. So clicking on Archives takes us back from the 2011 session all the way back to 1999. So you can either search for a specific year or you can search all of the archive years by clicking on this link. Let's try just clicking on the link for 2011. You will see that you would either put the bill number or the keyword in this first box here. And let's say that we know this is Senate Bill 34. We put that in. It will take us to the original bill, which is the first one that you see on the bottom, then chronologically to the SD1, the HD1, and the CD1. And if you click on the status sheet here, you will see all the testimony in the right-hand column there. So that's how you search the archives.